Hello everybody, my name is Joshua and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Coffee, Cats, and King, where we will discuss books both new and old. I will share with you pictures of my cats, will make you wish they were your cats, and I will drink enough coffee for me and everybody watching. So, if you watched my last video, you'll see I'm actually in the same outfit, using the same cup. It's because I got super behind on filming, so I'm not even going to try and do the one video a day thing. I've just got to jump right into it. I'm back with another book review times 2. This time I decided to do it on a book that almost everybody has read and has an opinion on already, but one in my opinion. And another book that nobody has read, nobody has heard of, and everybody was interested in when I talked about it before. So, that is Paul Tremblay's The Cabin at the End of the World and Fern Michael's Without Warning. So, I'm going to start off with Without Warning by Fern Michaels. First of all, I'm going to show off this cover again for a moment because the cover, sadly, is the best thing about this book. Some people pointed out to me in the comments when I first showed this off in my book haul that Fern Michaels is in fact mostly a contemporary romance author. So they were very surprised to see a horror. I was just happy to get the book because I love anything Christmas related. So that's why I picked it up originally. I got it on eBay, and it's apparently a pretty hard to find book. Going to give you the quick synopsis that it gives on the back. It says, Angela has visions. Tortured visions that haunt her sleep and terrorize her waking hours. Her socialite mother wants to commit her. Her wealthy father is too busy to deal with her. They refuse to accept what she knows is so, that she sees things before they happen, sees the future with a dreadful clarity. A shopping mall, noisy, bustling, filled with a holiday throng of thousands just days before Christmas. Thousands unsuspecting of the fiery disaster that is about to take their lives. And the one man who watches and waits and knows, just as Angela knows the terrible truth that no one will listen to, the terrible horror that will come without warning. So, sounds interesting. Sounds like it could be a good read. It's not. It's not. It's not. Don't look for this book. Don't pick it up. It is a complete waste of time. And I hate to say that, but it just is. It's awful. I gave it 1 star. I hated it. I only read it and finished it because no one else has read this darn book. And I was really hoping that something would happen and it would get better. And man, it just doesn't. It's a short read, but I feel like it still took me a long time to get through. Angela, as a character, is super annoying. She's aggravating and she's terrible. There's nothing nice or kind or sweet about her. In fact, the only reason that she's trying to tell anyone about this vision that she has is because she wants to share her misery with someone else. It's not that she's trying to protect people, she just wants to share her misery with someone else. The villain, the guy who is going to blow up the mall, it's not spoiling anything. 1, because you find out early on, and 2, because hopefully none of you are going to read this. He is a villain because he is a sad, lonely, fat man. And that's not me being rude. That is exactly how he's described in the book. In fact, every scene with him, there is body shaming. Every scene with him is just them talking about what a fat, sad, pathetic man he is, and that's why he wants to blow up the mall. It's awful. It's horrible. Angela becomes friends with this man. Not because she figures out that he is going to blow up the mall, but just because they happen to stumble upon each other and have a connection. And that's about the most exciting thing that happens. The entire book, from start to finish, Angela tells someone that the mall is going to be blown up. They don't listen. Angela tells someone else the mall is going to be blown up. They don't listen. Angela tells someone else the mall is going to be blown up. They don't listen. And guess what? Freaking spoiler, the mall blows up. So the mall blows up. It happens. She doesn't stop it. The poor, sad, fat man dies in the explosion. And the book ends with her reuniting with her father, who has never shown an iota of interest in her. And suddenly they're all kumbaya and happy together, and they tell her mother to screw off. So, there you go. That's the book in a nutshell. Don't read it. And if any of you must read it, tell me. I'll send it to you in the mail. You can have my copy. But don't waste your money and time trying to find it. Okay? Done with that review. There you go. You were curious. Now hopefully you're not. On to the next one. Paul Tremblay's The Cabin at the End of the World. Okay. When I showed this off in my recent pickup video, every comment was, "Oh, I've read this and I loved it," or "I've read this and I hated it." There's no in between apparently with this book. It is incredibly polarizing. In particular, the end, I've been told, is polarizing. So, I just finished this today. That's why I wanted to jump right in. I'm not going to say a whole lot about the book itself, honestly. I'll give you a quick synopsis, just in case you haven't read it. You're one of the 3 people like me that had not read it. So, Cabin at the End of the World is about this couple who have an adopted daughter named Wen. And these gentlemen have rented out this secluded cabin. And their very first day there, these 4 individuals show up. They take them hostage and tell them that they have to make a sacrifice. One of them has to die, and if they don't, the end of the world will come. So, sounds interesting. It was interesting in its own way. It did not take the sort of turns and twists that I thought it would, but there were some interesting ideas there. I'm not going to even try to make this a spoiler-free review, clearly, because I've told you everything that happened without warning, and most of you have read Cabin at the End of the World. So, spoilers. Here we go. Okay. My main problem with this book, in fact, my biggest problem, my only real problem, was Wen. At certain points, Paul Tremblay gets into the mind of Wen, and we're seeing the story from Wen's point of view, this 8-year-old. And at certain times, he has it down pat. The scenes with Wen and the dialogue with Wen feels very real. It feels as if we're hearing this and getting this from an 8-year-old. And then a paragraph later, it feels like Wen is a 28-year-old who just graduated from Harvard and has a rather decent understanding of the world and a decent understanding of the English language. So, that's my biggest gripe with this book. I don't think Paul Tremblay knows how to consistently write as a young person. I think that his own literary style got in the way of that. So for me, the parts where we're looking at the world from Wen's point of view just did not feel real. That said, let's talk about the ending for a minute. Okay. A lot of people have a problem with this ending. They feel that it is very open. I'll tell you, I've read a lot of books where the ending is very open to interpretation. I really don't feel like this is one, though. We know that husband and husband get out alive, that they're not going to kill each other or kill themselves to try and end the apocalypse. We know that the end of the world is probably coming. Now, you can say that this is not entirely clear, and I guess that's the part that's left to interpretation, kind of, because, you know, it's getting dark around them as they walk off to whatever's coming, and it could just be night falling upon them, or it could be that eternal darkness that Leonard warns about. So that part, I guess, is kind of up for interpretation, but I didn't hate the ending. Really, I didn't hate anything other than the fact that his own stylistic writing got in the way of the when section. So, for me, Cabin at the End of the World was a really great read. It did some interesting things. It wasn't entirely original, of course, but I think it takes a classic sort of horror setup, and it's written very well, and I enjoyed it. I thought that some things maybe didn't need to be in there, but overall, I liked it. I don't have a problem at all with the ending, honestly. I've read books that left it so open-ended that I just wanted to find the author and give him a good jab in the head or two, but like I said, this is not one of them. It didn't bother me at all. I thought it was a really well done ending. I kind of didn't want to know whether the apocalypse was actually happening or not. And I think that was the point, is it wasn't actually about that. It was just about these characters and their lives and their relationship together and their survival, because everyone else's survival at the end of the day didn't matter. It wasn't about the world, it was about them. So there you go. Quick little thoughts, not even a review almost, I guess. These were more my thoughts on these books. So I apologize if you don't care for it. But without warning, 1 star. Cabin at the End of the World, 5 stars. There you go. The polarization from this book has gained 1 more yay rather than an A. I appreciate you guys joining me again. I actually have my next book review ×2 in my head, starting to formulate things, so it should be up pretty soon. I have a couple more tags coming up, and some other bookish related videos that I haven't done yet, and some things that are not book related. So there's a whole lot going on. Just stick with me. Things are going to get awesome, I promise you. Thank you, as always, for joining me, and have a wonderful weekend. Cheers.